we're ready to go. So today is what is it today? It's a Wednesday, and I just got off work, took a shower, and well, here we are. So what do we have planned today? Well, pretty much more of the same from yesterday, because there's still a lot of things I want to do in Dyson Sphere Program. But as always, we are also doing Stream Raiders. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it, shall we? Let's see here. Okay, so we're getting close to the boss chest. And since we know that this is a gold chest and the other one's a bit of a unknown, probably also go to gold chest or similar. But we're going to go with the obvious one here. And if we fail, it's going to be okay, because we should have enough tries to get through this eventually. There we go. Let's just see, what do we have? Some bat smashers. And a bunch of other ugly stuff. Actually, I did take a look at my quest, but I didn't notice... Okay, so it's archers or centurions. Huh. Well, centurions I can definitely do. So, back there. Because they are pretty fitting, I would say. There's a lot of enemies, though. Makes me a bit worried. But it's probably gonna go just as every other stream starts. Hey, Toto. Good to see you here. Coming right in at the start as well. Hope you are having a great day. Mine has been rather boring so far, but let's change that. Oh, and Cellfire in there as well. All right. Hello there. Also, I got a follower from Swiftwalks or SwiftValX before the stream even started. Thanks for that follow, whoever you are. Very much appreciated. Assuming you're not a bot. Of course, I can never know these days. Heard rumors that the Hoss bot is still around causing mischief, except now it's under the guise of different names. So anyway, so let me just see if there's any news on ye old Steam here, because I did notice that there was a lot of tabs up here, so I just want to see if there's something interesting to cover before we dive into Dyson Sphere. Hope you're doing well as well, you too, Cellfire there. Good to see you back anyway. Just some showcase for Dolph Romantic. Meh. Endzone. Meh. Building pots for 2.0 of Hydroneer. Alright. Then Going Medieval has an update. Medieval Monday. Planet Zoo has some stuff. Yeah, there's nothing really like that sticks out. So this is how I get my news, by the way, in case you were like wondering. And it's like a pretty good filtering system. Nothing fun by looks. Yeah, nothing fun. Yeah. So nothing worth covering. So let's just dive into Dyson Sphere. Gotta get me some of that Dyson vacuum cleaner. Dyson, isn't it? Going to play the new farming sim when it's out next month. What farming sim is that? Oh, farming simulator. I assume that's what you mean. Wow. I, for some reason, just read that as like a grindy farming simulator. Not actual farming simulator. Derp. I haven't played any of them, so probably not. No. Besides, I've got way too many other games that I want to share with you on stream. And we're in October now, right? Yeah. I do want to do something a little bit special at the end of October. since it is to season. And I've got a little game that I want to play that... It's not a new game, it's a rather old one. But it has been remastered recently, and that's about as much as I'm gonna say. Then you can try and figure it out. By the end of this month, maybe. Well, let's just dive into our save. Riftbreaker. Is Riftbreaker gonna be out this month? Hold on. God fucking damn it. Steam. No. I swear I clicked the search bar. Next week. Oh my god. Are you serious? October 14th? Oh my god. I might actually just do that. But that's not at the end of October. But that gives me something to do as well. I really want to play Riftbreaker. Yeah. Do wonder how it's gonna be. Since it's got longer. Yeah, it did. You can actually play the Riftbreaker demo. Huh. Interesting. Just looking at that on Steam. But that's not for today though. Because we got some Dysoning to do. And we did start making a Dyson swarm, so that's looking rather neat. Seems to be working out just fine. That produces power for us. And when we stopped yesterday, we were about to do some thrusters. But yeah, there's so many things I want to do. How many things in it? In the demo, you mean? For Riftbreaker? Or you mean the Dyson Swarm? We have 14,460 solar cells at this point. And we're producing 500 and something megawatts. And I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, they haven't started dissipating, so the numbers are still going up. It's up here is our setup for it. So they have like a pretty good shot on the old ring there. But the question is, of course, how long they're gonna be sustained. For the time being, it's just extra power. Okay, so where should we stop? Probably the thruster A. Steel and copper ingots, reinforced, and then the green thingies. Okay, well, copper is right over there to the left. There's already some splitters I can make use of. Steel we already have moved over here, so that's another one that's done. And then there's that stuff, which we are also gonna need, so we should be pretty well set. I just need to be able to put down this belt here. So what have you been up to, Cellfire? It's been a while. Hope you're doing okay. Diablo 2. Ah, I can see why you would be occupied with that. I've got some friends that have been pretty occupied too. We raided a cyber fatty, a friend of mine, a couple days ago, and he was playing D2 Resurrected for his 20-hour stream, trying to get to 100 followers. But unfortunately, like the day after when I got up, like my day after, and I got up, he had like 5 hours left of his stream, and he was still sitting at 99 followers, which was a little bit sad. But you know, you can never control these things. But he was still playing D2 at that point, so he'd played it for like 16 hours or something stupid. But yeah. Can only get to 99 on D2, that's why. Yeah. You're talking about level, right? Yeah, let's do it like this. Yeah. Just making sure you were actually making a joke. Okay, so this should be enough for both of these, right? So this is the green motor stuff. And then there's the logistics vessels itself, which needs iron ingots and processors. And this one needs processors as well. Okay, so that tells me that I can't do quite this. That's okay. We'll just take this down because we don't need those particle thingies. Oh man. Have all the cubes yet? No. We've got 3 colors so far. Research has been stagnant for a little bit because the only reason we have yellow research is because I hand-fed the production facility. Like, we still don't have logistics drones and all that set up because I've just been doing all the other stuff for the sake of the challenge, I guess. I think it's okay. Do I want to? I don't need to. But do I want to actually separate this on a separate belt? Or put it into a buffer box? Thrusters are a little bit special, but I don't see any reason to do so. Nah, screw it. I'm just getting idea where you're at. Yeah, okay, so in terms of where we're at, I can probably just show you this. We can make everything on this page. Or everything on this page apart from accumulators is being made automatically. That's kind of where we're at. So the last thing we made yesterday was the logistics interstellar and planetary versions. And before that we were making the Dyson swarm stuff, so pretty much that's where we're at. So once we get drones, the idea is to go over to the other planet and set up that system so we can get titanium flowing. It's nice once you have the tower auto-crafted with the planes. Yeah, I mean, we have everything auto-crafted. That's just generally nice. That's also how I found that I prefer to play Factorio, because I played Factorio, you know, just like any other person, and then I did the build or handcraft only 111 items at most challenge / achievement, and I realized just how good it was. Yeah, I mean, the amount of stuff you need for this is just ridiculous. Not because you need many different things, but just a lot of things. It is fun, right? Because it's a very interesting challenge in its own right. And ever since, I've been leaning more towards the idea of full automation as soon as possible. Not just because it makes those more tedious parts of the game more enjoyable, but it also, I think, works into the favor of what you're actually playing, or like the type of game that you're playing. that makes sense. So it's like, if you don't like to automate things and would rather build it by hand, then maybe you're not getting like the full potential out of your game. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is... What am I thinking? We need a storage box. A factory. Then we'll need another factory. And another storage box. So, logistics drones? Actually, no. Let's do Interstellar here. And then do logistics drones. There were logistics vessels and drones, aren't they? Silly me. Okay, so we should be able to just not worry about exactly which materials we need to continue here. I probably don't need the copper, but let's figure that out now. Okay, so we need processors. These reinforced titanium alloys. And then the other one, it is iron plates, something that I don't have right here. Okay. So let's actually undo that. Because we have iron right here. Ah, fuck. Oh no. What factory was that? Crap. What was that factory making? I just accidentally deleted something. Oh. No, that's not it. Control Z. That doesn't work, sorry. What was I making? So this one is making water pumps, which is being put into a box there, and then I have gears here. But why is that? Oh, I think I know what it is. I know, it's clicking cookies. Oh, you're playing cookie clicker, are you? I think I know what it is. I think it's gotta be these electric motors. Here we go, yeah. Because those are needed in the factory next to it, and there was no conveyor belt with it. Some of the things are on occasion easier to just manufacture on site, even if you have a dedicated factory for it somewhere else. I was on stream and I couldn't stop myself. Oh, Steam. Wow. Sorry, Andre, but I just don't have enough hours to commit to RimWorld. I want to do that on later, longer streams. Which, unfortunate news for you, I guess, also likely won't... not likely, but won't be happening this weekend because I won't be home. It might be happening on Monday, but that depends entirely on how demolished I am. So, take it or leave it. But this is all I can give you. Okay, so let's try and do what I originally wanted to do. Here. Alright, Andre, thanks for the lurk still, even though it's not what you wanted. I very much appreciate it. Oh, maybe we can just take it from over here. It's gonna be a little bit weird, but we can do this. Okay. Simple enough. So this goes here, and this goes here. Cool. Okay, so now we're actually making the drones and we have the stations, meaning that have almost everything that we need pretty much. So let's pick up these for the time being. Actually, what's halting these? Oh, so it's this production, and that's the particle containers. Intriguing. Okay, so why is that not going anywhere? The green engines. They're coming from over here, but why are they so bloody slow? Okay, so it's this stuff here. So it's the iron, okay. So the iron comes out from just these two mines, and they're all running low on resources, so that is why. And that's why we need to get this situation sorted before we run out completely. Okay, so now I'm here. Because I think all the nearby iron nodes are being harvested. Ah, but why am I worrying so much? We have the solution. We just made the solution. Let's take these as well. No biggie. So I think this is probably the highest priority, since these are used for producing the same logistics drones that we need to move the resources to supply this place. So if we take care of that first, that should probably be good. Transportation, there it goes. Okay. Do I want to make it interstellar right away? We do have enough. It's a bit of a dumb spot though. So these are not really being utilized that much, but then again it's also a different sort of place. Okay. Let's try and restructure what we have here. I think that is the better approach that I can think of. Even though there's not a lot of metal left. Kinda needed to work right away. Don't want to wait until the field's been drained, if you know what I mean. Okay. Okay, maybe this these ones up here are gonna stay the same. Because there's not gonna be any pretty way of doing this. But I think it's far than enough then to supply whatever we need supplying here. Let's do it like this. And then you can go back in there. Then to only make the inner ones is what you mean, right? Not inter. Oh, interplanetary ones, right. I mean, eventually you end up just doing these because redundancy. Right now though, they're pretty expensive. So I only have 4 and I need one of them to transport titanium. Hola, amo. How you doing today? Hope you're having a nice time. One of my moderators, good friend of mine. Being a lazy moderator though, because he's busy with other things, but that's okay. You're sick. I've been for the last 2 weeks. Oh no, did you get the Rona? That sounds, being sick for that long sounds pretty severe, unless it's the flu. Which it also could be, I mean, it is the season for it. And the country did just open up all in, like, one massive go without, like... It's like no stops remaining at this point. It's not Rona, but it's flu for sure. Alright, well that's at least something, I guess. It's definitely something. But yeah, it's interesting, right? As soon as the restrictions were lifted, boom, people just end up going sick. Because you're not the only case that I've heard of. Because I would assume that you were feeling pretty fine up until the restrictions were lifted, if you say it's like just been 2 weeks ago. Went to Mallorca on a business trip and came back and went dead. Oh god. I see. Already on business trips, huh? Wow, another achievement. 15 out of 100. Yeah. Well, it's good. You're seeing places and you must be feeling very important now. In like a big shot. Or however you want to phrase that. Set this up for iron. Remote demand, local supply. Not really, since the whole company went. Ah. Interesting though. That must have been an experience regardless. Yeah, we're playing some Dyson Sphere here today. I don't know, have you played this? Do you have this? It's quality meeting and team building, okay. Way too warm for your ass. Oh, I bet. Oh, you have it. Alright. Yeah, they recently updated the game with some achievements. Which is why I returned to it. Frick. Oh, right. Not local supply, local demand. Never made it too far, you say? Okay. Well, so far, we've got a Dyson swarm going. And we're established on this starting planet and then one more. New world, okay. Yeah, I saw you were playing that. If you're enjoying it, then that's good. Then there's no need to play anything else, right? What the... So why was this... Huh? No clue. Let's just hook it up over here, I guess. Saw a lot of people started playing it and it's like a top seller on Steam. I also had someone yesterday talk about it. You're level 33. Okay. Well, I guess it means you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, I've only heard bad things about the game, so... Or rather, not necessarily just plain bad, but mediocre things, I think is a better way of putting it. Because if you say bad, it sounds like, oh, it's absolute trash or whatever. 88 hours, holy crap. That's an MMO for you. Okay. You will be allowed. Decided to get to max levels so I can call the game bad, because I bet you there will be no content. Probably, that was part of the reason why it wasn't that great, but there's more to it though. 8 units, okay, let's see if we can make it on Stream Raiders. This is gonna be a stretch, but we can try. What's that glowing unit there? Oh, that's Bob the Builder in here, okay. Looks hella fancy. Is that Link? That looks awfully much like a Link. Autumn Warrior. The yellow stuff there and green tunic, and but it's like really hard to make out because of it's like so small. Let's try and do this debuff and see if that works. We're probably gonna get our asses whooped though. But yeah, the no content thing was one of the things. So basically, for context, I watched a YouTube video covering the game, and it was a guy who had played it in earlier alpha stages of the development of the game, and he was playing it right when it came out into like pre-release beta availability or whatever. We might make this with those buffs actually. But he basically the point was back then that there was little to no improvement or additions from the alpha, so he was like, you know, also sort of covering how, or saying like he was worried about the future development of the game if they had made seemingly little to no progress. Then there were server instabilities, but you know, that could be just because of the beta. That seems to be like a common trait amongst new games in general. And then he said the PvP was absolute trash. Something about like you would be like on a courier mission, and someone else might get tasked with this is a boss chest, by the way. But someone else would be maybe tasked to assassinate you or whatever. But you could just outrun people, meaning that whenever you wanted to PvP someone, if they saw that they were losing the PvP fight, they could just run away, or something to the tune of that. And there wasn't really anything you could do about them running away or something. And it was open world PvP too, so that's kind of bad for an open world PvP game, I guess. And then as you also like alluded to, in endgame there was literally no content. And he was also a bit unsatisfied that everyone basically looked the same in the endgame large PvP battle stuff. Because although there were two different factions, everyone in the same faction literally looked almost indistinguishable from each other, even like, you know, amongst a lot of players. But yeah. Didn't really add things but fixed whatever was there. Yeah, I think so too. His other point was also that if they had server instability and it's, you know, Amazon Game Studios, I think he mentioned something that it might be, and I could be misremembering this, but I just seem to recall that he mentioned something about the game being run on Amazon servers or something. And if Amazon, who has this whole server hosting thing going for them, couldn't even figure out how to like make a stable MMO, then, you know, we're in the deep end all of a sudden. And then of course there's the, oh, how new is this game development studio that is making the actual MMO in terms of competences, because I just felt like there was a lot of things missing. So the general gist of the review was that there were a few bad things, but nothing that couldn't be fixed, or a lot of things which could be fixed, like the server instabilities, of course. Lack of content from that beta access to full release, of course, couldn't be, because, you know, it was right around the corner, so that one was a little bit harder to swallow. And then there were just a lot of things that were mediocre, so in terms of an MMO, it didn't really do much in terms of being special, I guess. He was citing like other open world PvP MMOs that were much better. Yeah, the right decisions. Or you also probably hope that it's not just gonna end up dying in a year. It's like if you're making an open world PvP game, you're directly competing against games like Black Desert Online and Arcade, which have been around for much longer, so it's gonna be difficult for sure. That is like one of the things that might be very questionable if they can like compete with. After all, if it's a newer crew that they've got in terms of competences and such, I'm a little bit skeptical as to whether or not they'll be able to deliver what people like, something that's, you know, effectively should be better than what people already have ready at hand. Of course, you know, sales numbers are saying that they're doing okay, but it could also just be good marketing, right? So Amazon and all, but it's their first game after all. Yeah, and it's Amazon Game Studio, right? So that's why I'm saying you don't really know, because one thing is that yes, it's owned by Amazon, but the people that they hire could literally be people that have worked on other MMO, even World of Warcraft, right? Because of the whole Blizzard not being like super well in terms of their employees and how everything's like shifting on that end. So there might be a lot of employees from Blizzard that might be looking for jobs other places. And I bet your ass that if someone like Amazon see that possibility, they're hiring those, since they kind of need the expertise. Of course, it doesn't mean they're going to succeed or anything, but hey, you never know. Okay, so we finally have our freaking first drone haul here, transporting iron across. Now we just need more drones. So let's go and see how many we've made, because although we were running low on iron, there should still be some that have been made here. Never mind, there is not. Okay, so this is because of processors. Okay, where's that located at again? Amazon got too much crap. Yeah, I mean in terms of company size, they're like Nestle. Here, okay, so this is where we're making the processors. Here's our problem. We're running out of silica, because we're still converting stone into silica. Well, the good thing is that now I can actually move it around with logistics drones. Bad news is that I need the silica in order to produce said drones. Because there's plenty of stone on this planet that I could use for the time being anyway. But meh. I think the PvP is fun right now though. Yes, you can outrun people, but there's also people you can catch up to, and I mean, it's hard to balance that, I think. I don't know. I mean, the thing that he was mentioning, I'm pretty sure, was that for the most part, in terms of catching up to people, there wasn't really much you could do, as far as I understood it. So people just avoided PvP because there wasn't really, I don't even remember, it's been a while, right? But I don't even remember what the incentive for PvP in the first place was, like, outside of whether or not you had like a direct objective. And then, you know, being an asshat. But people will always be asshats if they can. Oh, right. I need to set these filters up. There we go. That might help a little bit. Oop. But at the end of the day, it's probably not a game for me. I sort of went out, stopped playing Black Desert Online and Arcade because the open world PvP was just annoyingly obnoxious. Found RS hats in D2 yesterday. Wait, RS hats? RS hats? Could you clarify, Selfire? One thing that is quite annoying is actually that you started at release, because you have to make settlements. So companies take those settlements and they decide what buildings get leveled up. So as an example, you got nowhere to craft higher level food because there's no settlement that has gone that way. Oh, asshats. Right. Well, that was actually a similar experience I had in Arcade. Amo. There's like land grab, like you can also get the land in Arcade, which you can use to build your own player house, and you can share it with the rest of your guild for production facilities. And it was like the most craziest thing ever. So I was playing during Arcade Unchained, which was like a relaunch of the Arcade game into like a remastered version and a free-to-play model or something. And you couldn't acquire land initially because they wanted to give everyone a chance to get into the game first, since you also needed to reach like a certain level before you could acquire land in the first place. So you couldn't just up and buy land with a brand new character, not only because you needed the resources and all that ready to build something on your plot, but you also needed to be high enough level to do so. So you have to wait to progress your skills because you have to wait for the settlements to grow. Oh, that fucking sucks. We also, in this land grab situation, so basically what they did was that they decided, okay, there's gonna be a land claim day, and depending on the server, it's gonna be according to whenever the server started. And you know, that basically we were surveying around, and I was playing with the Voltage group and all that, and they played Arcade before, so they knew about this whole land grab situation, how it worked and what to be aware of and what to look for in terms of land. And we all agreed on like one area that we all wanted to settle. And then on land grab day, it was fucking psychological warfare. I shit you not. It was so bad. Yeah, it was like it was fucking insane, the land grab event, because there would be a countdown and basically people would contest the land areas in more what do you call it, like in the areas that people wanted the most. So for instance, some of the major cities had land grab areas as well, where you could build a house, so that if you built something there, transporting goods from those production facilities you could plop down wouldn't require you to go that far, because the city was right next to it, right? And there would be very little danger involved either, because it was right next to it. Min-max locations, yeah, kinda. So what it looked like on land grab day was that people would band together in their guilds on these plot areas, and they would just place their character down around where they would be intending on grabbing land. And the way it worked was that I'm trying to remember, I can't recall if you had to put down your buildings or whatever in order to do the land grab, which is why you needed to have all the materials on you as well. It was a fucking terrible system. But it basically meant that everyone was sort of contesting the area around and then doing psychological warfare to try and make people leave, in the way that you would be standing around with a group of, like, you know, you and the other six people of your guild in like a small area, and you would spread out evenly, sort of to illustrate that, hey, we're gonna claim this, and if you fuck with us, you're in trouble and you won't be able to build anything. Because if people land claimed it accordingly, you could be squeezed into a corner, right? And that was the whole reason why you wanted to group together, is because then you in effect had more space. Yes, exactly, Toto. It was a fucking nightmare. And what ended up happening was that I was placed on the outer edge of our guild area, and just like I think a half an hour to an hour before land grabs happened, some randoms without a guild came by and contested the area that I was standing on too, and he just wouldn't leave. Just wouldn't fucking leave. And then like a few minutes, oh yeah, it was absolutely fucking disappointment. And this guy wouldn't leave, and then like a few minutes before land grab happens, like multiple people from that friends or whatever came by as well, and all of a sudden I had like 3 people standing around me that was just there to fuck me up, because they couldn't really do much with the lands, because they would all be like squished in between everything. And then as soon as the timer hit like 0, everyone just like built like as fast as they could, did the land claim procedure. And I just wasn't fast enough, because I'd never seen the UI before, so I didn't know how it worked, because I hadn't been on a land claim on other servers, just to give it a try. Now, Toto, I'm not that old. I am mad. I was mad though. And yeah, like I was just standing there ready to grab my land, and it just didn't work. It just didn't let me. And then this other fucking asshat took the land right in front of my eyes, and I couldn't do anything about it. That was probably the most frustrating thing because we were there for hours. I think we stood around that place for like somewhere between 3 to 5 hours trying to get this land. And it's just like within seconds, all the land in that entire area was just claimed. There was barely any space left. And here's the dumb thing about it. So everything's like divided into cells, right? So you put down a thing that takes down like a 2x2 cell or whatever. That was like the most common thing that people put down. But that means if you build in a 2x2 cell and another person 1 cell over builds another 2x2, that leaves like 2 cells in between that can't be used for literally anything, because I don't think there was even a 1x1 land plot that you could put down. So that means if people were spreading all over the place, there would be less land for everyone involved. But yeah, so much fighting would have happened. Yeah, and that's the thing. PvP still happens in that game over resources like that. There's a thing in ArcAge which is called illegal farming, believe it or not. and that's when you plant trees outside of a land plot. And the real kick is that you needed wood in order to build your houses, and because everyone was playing Arcade at the same time, the naturally occurring trees in the landscape were always like gone, because someone had gone through and harvested them all in order to get the materials for the land claim stuff. So the only way you could feasibly get the materials for your starting house was through illegal farming. And that was just another whole thing. So people can, like, other players can report other players that do illegal farming when they catch you in the act, and you can go to court. And as a player, you can be pulled into trial like this, acting as jury and all that stuff, which is kind of like, it's kind of a cool system if you ask me. Like, I think that was like a really cool part of the game, because it was optional, but like, you could be out and about doing your thing, and then all of a sudden someone gets caught doing illegal farming, and you would be pulled into like this whole courtroom situation, and like this guy would get like a sentence, and the sentences varied from one session to another. So if you're being accused of something and you're like playing your cards right, let's put it that way, and you have a nice jury, you can get away without punishment at all. Or it could be like being put into jail for like X amount of in-game hours. And that was like such a dumb thing too, if I remember. People were being put into jail up towards land grab just so that they could, and they were just like not being stingy about it. Like if you went to court near land grab, you would be put into jail if they could, for as long as a sentence as they could, because they wanted less people to compete with. And jail is a physical location in the game. There's like a prison island, if I remember correctly. I do believe I went there once. Yeah, it's like it's like a very immersive mechanic, if you ask me. Oh, and most importantly, PvP is also integrated into this whole this whole system, basically. So if you kill someone, you get like someone innocent, you get infamy or whatever, to the point where eventually people can bounty hunt you because you've done too many naughty things and you've gained too much negative karma, or whatever their measurement was again, to the point where it can get so bad that you just straight up become an outlaw. I don't remember if it was permanent or not, but there was some mechanic involved in that too. One of many reasons why people who played BDO, Black Desert Online, say that Arcade was better, because Black Desert Online was basically copying a lot of stuff that made Arcade really good. Like, you can sail around in ships and stuff like that in Black Desert Online, which was like cool and all, but Arcade has it as well, just much better apparently. But yeah, that's a little bit of Arcade insight for you, if you will. So how's this iron situation going? So these drones are like transporting as much as they can, but not enough. More drones are required. Unfortunately, in order to make drones, we still need those materials. Okay, I guess we don't have a choice then. Well, actually we do have a couple choices, but I think I know what to do about it. So if we go up here, so here's our silicon factory making, what's it called again? Hyper silicon, okay. So it's looking a little bit slow with all these resources, but if we take this side here and make a logistics station and make it an interstellar one. Oh, that is such an annoying spot. Oh, what are you saying? For the food example, you can make food right now that heals 60 hit points per second for 20 seconds. That's 1200 hit points, right? That's a tier 2 food. Tier 2 is level 15 to 25. You're level 33. You almost need tier 4 food, and the same shit with armor and stuff like. The armor you can make is low tier 3 because they just unlocked it. Oh yeah, that's true. I do remember him covering that in the video too, where it's like... That was one of the pluses from the game, ironically though. Being that, like, you know, the crafting system actually matters because that's how you actually get most of your usable gear. Whereas in a lot of other MMOs, crafting gear tends to be like a secondary thing. And I would agree, from what I've seen of Trident Black Desert Online and stuff. Okay, maybe this is fine. Matters a lot, but you can't progress it. Yeah, see, that's the problem though. Local supply, remote demand. Okay, so we just take 4 for now in here. Because can't really afford much else. Wait. Oh, this is not hooked up. Okay. Let's try and put that there. And then I guess we might as well set up the other logistics system. Gonna hit the toilet. Take care of your hand afterwards. Hitting stuff usually hurts. Unless you're using an implement, of course. So plastics. This is for research over here, but it's probably more important that we do this section over here. So over here we also need titanium, since titanium alloy, and we need titanium alloy if we want to build more logistics stuff too, so only makes sense if we do this first. Okay, where do I want to put this though? I think I want to put it here. I do want to put it where there's space, but there's like no space here. It's gonna be off-centered grid or whatever you want to call it, that's fine. I'm just gonna not look at it. Epic Debo Dragon Tank, okay. Wonder why it's called Debo Dragon. Booked up local storage, remote demand. And let's just... should I put... nah. Yeah, let's put the rest in here. So if we do that, how's our power looking? Oh, it's fine. Wait, what? Really? So I said it's 300 megawatts maximum being drawn. But that's like how much we're drawing entirely. The hell? Eh. Oh, is that maybe why the drones are taking so bloody long to transport the iron? Is because I didn't allow them to use more power on that thing? Might be. It's probably also because they're not, we don't have 50 of them. Okay. Next up is cleaning out our inventory of stuff. So for starters, let's get rid of all the excess resources that we've got in here. Okay. Then let's make a box. The box. Actually, let's just put that on top of here for now. And put, well, not everything, I guess, but a lot of stuff in there. Because we're going on a little adventure. Mining machine? Yeah, let's stick those in our inventory. Rail ejectors can stay. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Since we're just going over and establishing a logistics station and a mine, pretty much. I guess we technically already have the mine. Oh, right. This one needs to change. Titanium ingots, isn't it? There we go. Okay, let's fuel up our mech. Take some with us. Let's go over here. There. Yeah, so we're like storing up our hydrogen, and we've also filled up these storage tanks with deuterium. Oh crap. No. Stop. Why is it so bloody annoying to... Oh right, full now. Crap. Okay, I guess we can just store all the fuel on the other one. Okay, so before we go... There. It's like a power tower set up here that I can make use of. And then we'll go and fly to the other planet. 50 units, holy fucking shit. Well, I guess it is the the final battle of this map. Alright. So which one was the dragon thing? Is it this one? Debo Dragon. Okay. Looks pretty cool. Do we have any other interesting units in here? It's of course like an amalgamation of so many different types of units. Alright, let's get going, shall we? Okay. Should I just debuff these guys? Don't see any reason not to. Unfortunately, can't also hit the boss, but I think that's okay. Let's go! Oh, they're gonna go for that buff, aren't they? We should be fine. Wow. That buff did absolutely nothing for them. Just got a long ass conga line of units down there on the top. So we've pretty much got this one in the bag. We've barely any losses. We've lost 3 units? Holy shit. That's pretty sweet. Doopy doop boop boop boop. Still like that Donkey Kong like thing throwing barrels. It's pretty fitting. Who gets the rewards? Let's see. Oh, there you go. Bob the Builder getting the Centurion scroll. Cool, cool. And no monk scrolls this time. This is you, right, Toto? Yeah, this looks like you. It was. Now we're off to another map. Got a bit of time still. So, what's the most... Wait, there's nothing... Oh, there is a loyalty token chest down there. It's so far away though. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so... Guess there's only one place to start, isn't there, Dragon? Why don't you just click start battle already? Alright, so... I will be trying to put down some archers. So I've actually run out of gold. I think you guys can figure out the rest. Knowing my luck, there's going to be a massive drop off though. Always tends to happen, doesn't it? Oh crap, which one of the planets was it? It's this one. So it's Pisces Austrini, or Austrini? I don't care. Speed up towards it though. The speed. Whee. Isn't there a way? Yeah, it's just looking around, isn't it? Nice. The Dyson Swarm is looking really, really juicy. Bloop. I should probably have landed where we had some freaking stuff already. That way. Because then we can also establish one of those ray collector thingies. Receivers. Because although we have solar power and large effect over here, guess we might as well make use of our Dyson Swarm. Let's see, and they are actually generating. Like, it doesn't seem like they would, but they're all generating. Even the furthest back ones are. Very good. So power. What's the power like on this one? Oh, that's the whole system. I should maybe just check the local planet, eh? Oh god. The spike! And that was just from putting them down. So now they're gonna like slowly do this continuous receiving thing, and that will increase the output gradually. Can't remember what the maximum output is, but it's pretty good. Okay, so this is where our titanium plates are being made. Haven't been here in a hot second. So let's see. Yeah, so this all been fed into this box there, which essentially means that let's do like this. All of the stuff in that crate is gonna go back to the homeworld. Might just be moving that manually just so we have some titanium back at home. Yeah, there's a little bit of titanium on the floor, that's fine. Oh, right. That is probably the main reason for why that wasn't I couldn't pick it up. I forgot I had like 1 billion of this deuterium stuff. This station is going to do double time. You in here. Station, these, what even are they again? Are they just called stations? Let's just call them stations. These stations are pretty interesting in that they can serve a lot of different roles at the same time. So one thing that is a bit obvious is of course that it can move stuff from A to B, but you can actually do a whole lot with it, because you can also use it as like a buffer. So if I take the titanium ore here and say local storage and then remote demand, so now this titanium ore that we're even harvesting locally right next to it can be fed through here so that you can have a pass through while still supplying like titanium with this. So you don't even need to like, we can just set this to remote and local storage, right? But we might as well also use this as a local or remote demand and hook that in as well. Whenever it becomes relevant. These belts are just going to sit there for now, that's okay. This is filling up with titanium really quick. Let's crank up the freaking power too. Yeah, and our logistics vessels are already on their way here. Tickets, please. Establish an interstellar logistics transportation line. Cool. Okay, well, let me also make a little system for this. So this is just a manually manual deposit for all this stuff. All these titanium plates. So that way I can store anything that I can't keep on myself, just for good measure. Because I don't have to... Although titanium is like gonna get flowing real big time. There's no need to like waste it unnecessarily. Ugh. Of course the vessels, they can contain quite a lot of resources, but they're already like on their way back and the whole station's already filled. Very well then. That's good though, because it means they charged up almost immediately. Depending on how long that charge lasts for. Can we take stuff out of here? No. Okay, so we might as well contribute ourselves. Okay. Getting back is pretty easy to find, because there's always, from my experience, gonna be like a gas giant next to your starting planet. It's like awfully samey in that regards. So on my first game there was also, I think you always land on a lost planet like we're on, with the oil and all those resources. That's always the same. And my first save also had a gas giant and then 2 additional planets, just like we have here. It's not until you like leave this solar system that things become different. Well, actually, maybe not. I do seem to notice that the planet types might be different. Even in the starting solar system. And then again, they need to have titanium because... No, I think they actually are the same. Because on the starting save, there's definitely a cold planet. But I don't think there was a volcanic one. Pretty sure the other one I had was just like a wasteland. No water or anything. Pretty much just a overglorified moon. Oh, didn't pop in as I expected to. Just kind of like went into hover mode, eh? That away. All these wind turbines as well, 300 kilowatt per, so 1 megawatt for every 3.3, I guess. 3.3, yeah. So, just out of curiosity, what would be the next thing to research? Miniature particle collider. What's that used for again? Oh yeah, that's another way that you can make deuterium, but I don't think I really ended up using that the last time. Because though it's a bit more consistent and faster than the fractionator, it's also way more expensive power-wise. Satellite power distribution system. This is just like a... okay, you need one of those. Yeah, this is like a large area coverage energy pole or whatever. Here's the warp fuel though. This is what you want if you're gonna use logistics vessels between solar systems. We're not quite there yet though. We have prerequisites. Plane smelter? The hell? Huh. I think this is new. To me at least. I don't remember this from before. There's the purple signs. Deuteron fuel rods. Those would be nice. If we want to build a Dyson Sphere, we need this as well, though. But in order to actually launch them, we need to make a specific launch facility. All of this is just, well, apart from this one, this is the only one that's like an upgrade for our facilities, but requires a bunch of other stuff. Antimatter fuel rods, that's where it's at. Oh yeah, I forgot you can make artificial stars. A mini sun. They produce power. Pretty good amount of power too. And I don't remember if they utilize anything to run. So it's like, in terms of research, there's mostly just components that are prerequisites for the last things that we can make, and then this research in here, which improves our mix capabilities. More power generation, maybe? Could also get more sales speed. Could also increase the lifespan of our solar sails. Maybe that might be a good idea. More ray transmission efficiency. Oh, logistics, drones, flight speed. That's probably it. That and carrier capacity. Because if we research these first, then we get more yellow science from doing so. Research speed? Meh. Meh. Oh, that was already oh my god, that's going, that research is going by so fucking fast because it's all just been stored up. Interesting. And it's gonna be empty eventually, but damn, that's like draining really fast. Bloop. Just about enough for 2 upgrades. Nice. Oh shit, I forgot about the silicon ore. Damn it. Okay, well, let me use this opportunity to store some titanium, though. Welcome back. Okay, so that should mean that we're making yellow science. Oh. Do we have the things? Not really. All right. Well then, enjoy your time here, I guess. Hopefully. No, I'm just sticking around even though it's boring as shit. Always do. Maybe you would have wanted to like wait with that until I finished what I was trying to say. Unless she... Goddamn silicon. But we don't have any drones, so it's gonna be like fucking... I mean, I always enjoy. I see, I see. So we can do silicon ore here. Which would mean that we get it smelted here locally. But the thing is, we need logistics vessels. Oh no, wait. Okay, I have thought about this. Fucking hell. Otherwise, trying to retrieve them from the, oh my. From the other production facility might be a bit of a pain. Wow, that logistics vessel just freaking flew off. Later. Oh shit. Uh-oh. Well, this is as fast as we're gonna go, chat, because I'm out of fuel and mech wasn't even fully charged. Nice. Watch me fuck this up. You're flying super fast and miss planet. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost going at my top speed right now. It's gonna be fine, chat. It's gonna be fine. It only takes a little bit of power now to turn. I do seem to recall that it took like a fucking insane amount of power to readjust your course when I started playing, but I'm pretty sure they changed it so it was less expensive. Because people were getting like stuck in space. Now the problem is that we're on a volcanic planet. And where did I even land? Crap. See, that's... Yay. Like, is this absolutely necessary to make it this slow? Dun, 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 dun. And there's like a billion obstacles as well. Cause rocks and volcanic planet. Could also turn you off. Yeah. God, that's a bit of a walk, isn't it? Don't think they're... Do you think these would drop coal? Oh, game over, have to start all over from scratch. Yeah, fuck no. Walking this distance as compared to like starting over, like, just doesn't even compute. At least I can still put down terrain, no problem. That's the other thing, like, you can technically use the wireless power towers to charge yourself, but putting down one of these takes power because it's done with the drones. I do, but it takes power to put them down, so my total is negative 820 kilowatt. I have 0 joules. Or do you just mean if I have them put down or on this planet? Can you now? Okay. Like, you could technically do it. I've just tried doing it before and it, like, the drone just never appeared. We go over to the other side, we can charge a little bit faster. These are running at 100% now, so 15 megawatts per. It's a good amount of power. Yeah, it's a little bit faster to charge over here as well. Now, fortunately, we do have one coal deposit on this planet. Like, I think I mentioned this last stream or the day before, but yeah. So you're sending power back to your other planet? No. It's just being collected here if this one needs it. That's for the Dyson swarm, in case you're unaware how that works. So basically, you make those electromagnetic rail cannons that shoot out Dyson swarm solar sails into your orbit that you plan out. Yeah, that's because it actually it is, but in a different way. So these things are basically like over-glorified solar panels, I guess. So these gather energy produced by the Dyson swarm, or Dyson Sphere if you have one of those, of course. So they have to be in line with the sun too in order to function, just like a solar panel. But then they produce it off of the Dyson swarm and sphere instead. But they are of course capped at the production capabilities of your Dyson swarm, weirdly enough. So if you don't have enough solar sails in your Dyson swarm, because this current swarm is going down and its current production capacity is 872 megawatts, so if one planet is requesting like more than that, then it is unable to like produce all that is sort of requested. So supply and demand still is in effect. Okay, so first things first, let's fly over and get some freaking energetic graphite, because I don't want to be stuck like that and again in the near future. And then let's figure out where the silicon is at. I'm pretty sure it was, yeah, right around here as well. Way more efficient than trying to convert stone into silica. But yeah, the Dyson swarm has a limited time lifespan, so each of those solar sails eventually dissipate. 7 hours maintenance of New World today. Yay! MMOs. God. Well, not just MMOs, I guess. People that are playing Diablo 2 are also feeling some always online sickness, I guess you can call it. Servers are still down, huh? But yeah, I was watching like the Voltage group. They were playing D2 Resurrected, and apart from the game having like visual glitches that happen, there's also like a lot of server instability, which is a bit of a problem if you're wanting to play hardcore in multiplayer. Since there's no like what do you call it? Like, it's always online multiplayer. Through like their dedicated servers or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, hardcore not good idea. Yeah, and that's what my friends were doing. I was also like, you were playing this, you know, last week and you had connection issues and you're playing hardcore? God damn, you're gonna be masochistic. But you know, they're just doing it for the lols. Found D2 when you crash or DC you instead are removed from the game, so it shouldn't be too bad like other games. Yeah. Playing D3 you stay in game for free. Oh, because it's like treated as if you were in an MMO. I mean it makes sense for an MMO, right? Because it's like got PvP and shit in there, like open world PvP. So for those systems to work properly, and other things like, so you can't just cheese the game when you're about to die or whatever. Yeah, because you kite like too many enemies and then just can't like take them out because you were being a dumbass, and then instead of taking it, then you're like trying to alt F4. There's like ways you can do that in Minecraft. If you're falling to your death and you log out of the game just before you hit the ground and then you log back in, your momentum does not get stored, so you can literally use that to great effect to prevent dying. But yeah, something that I never understood with D2 back in the day is why it had to be always online to play multiplayer. I understand the risks of having like, oh yeah, 3 people. Wait, boy, are you asleep, boy? Because I don't see boy in here. Boom, bang, or splat. The fuck? Someone's played a lot of Croc. I don't even know if I even want to try. Because we're just gonna get curb stomped here. But yeah, I don't quite never understood why D2 had to have only a always online multiplayer. Why there couldn't be like LAN multiplayer and that kind of stuff. My guess is that it's to avoid like some weird cross stuff from happening, so that it's like harder to hack online multiplayer or whatever. So you can't like take your local save and change it. Did it have LAN play? I only ever remember that you had to be online in order to play in multiplayer. So I don't know. I definitely never played it over local area network, that's for sure. But then again, like, there's a lot of reasons why I don't play Diablo 2. There's just other ARPGs that I find way better than Diablo 2 was. Because Diablo 2 is like dated at this stage, so... You know, new games have come out, and they're not called Diablo 3. Because I also didn't like Diablo 3, it was too much of like a different game for my taste anyway. It's still very funny to me like how they went about Diablo 2, and game designers are like praising their approach to Diablo 3, I mean, and then game designers and stuff are like praising their approach to how they designed it and all that stuff, using design pillars, and then like the D3 developers themselves have said like, okay, maybe we didn't completely hit the mark Like maybe we did something wrong after all. I find that very fun. D3 very repeat with the rifts. Oh, it's not just that though. So here's a little bit of game theory for you, game development theory. So for Diablo 3, they used a method called design pillars. So design pillars is a method for developing and designing video games where the idea is that you define some pillars to support your game idea. And these pillars have to be very broad concepts, but also not like, what's the word for it? Something that is undefinable or like doesn't, like you can't, can be misinterpreted basically. But they can also not be direct solutions. So a design pillar can never be that your game needs to have microtransactions, or that your game needs to, what could it be, have a leveling system. It's better described as like feelings, for instance, that you want to invoke into the player. So one thing that a design pillar could be is that it has to be something that's adventurous, or what else is a good one? Like you need to get the sensation that you're all powerful, which is one, or something to the tune of that, which was one of the design pillars for Diablo 3, by the way, or something to the tune of that, meaning that the design pillars sort of draw out the overall concept that you want to make in terms of your game design, and then whenever you're picking out like game design ideas that you're wanting to implement, like, oh, do we want puzzles in the game? Then you see, okay, is that supported by a game or pillars, right? Well, if it's an adventurous experience, a feeling you want to invoke, then puzzles can make that happen, after all, like as just one example. And then the idea is that the more you can sort of use this as like a checklist, right? So the more pillars a game mechanic or whatever is supported by, the more important it is to implement. So whenever it comes to feature creep and all that stuff, and which things you want to and do not want to put into the game or can't because of time restraints, this is basically how you use the tool to constrict your whole idea to something that's manageable and doable, while also not deviating away from the overall design. So as an example, in Diablo, you're supposed to be this Nephilim character, or like just generally like a badass. That's what they wanted to invoke. You should feel like a badass. And in D2, the developers didn't feel like they really delivered on that, because although you're taking out like large demonic creatures and all that, in order to survive, you're constantly quenching health potions. That's why in Diablo 3 you don't really have health potions in the same way, because they didn't invoke the feeling of being badass, because you needed to constantly quench these potions just to stay alive. And in order to further do this, make sure that this whole being a badass thing sort of worked out and made sure that it would always happen, that's also why they dumbed down the whole leveling system and everything else in terms of classes and all that stuff. So they basically decided that they wanted to like simplify the gameplay loop and building your class so that it was easier to get a sensation of being badass, right? At the cost of, well, not having a leveling system that really matters in an ARPG, which is like one of the reasons I hate Diablo 3, is because the whole like, oh right, you just level up and you get your skills. What fun is it in leveling a character if you're just being told what to do? True, you can change your skill sets around and all that stuff, but you didn't really build your character in terms of skills that way. And they did eventually sort of band-aided by making gear that had abilities and all that, so you could have, you know, gear defining builds or whatever. And I haven't even played much D3, but I at least understand it that much. But do correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have another station, do I? No. Okay, so we have to return back, unfortunately. But the thing about the design pillars that I didn't, well, when I heard other game developers praise it, is that it just, to me, sets up a scenario that's like too limited. Because basically, whenever an idea gets forwarded that doesn't support all the design pillars, then it might get discarded, even though you're just thinking about it wrong, maybe. Right? Because you can be a badass or feel like you're a badass in a lot of ways, right? And the question is, well, do you really feel a badass if you didn't earn it? So yes, you do invoke or provide the tools necessary to feel like a badass, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you invoke that feeling, right? If you understand where I'm going with this. And the developers behind D3 also themselves said that, okay, they didn't quite nail it in terms of designing the game, because clearly they needed to add a lot of new things and game mechanics into the game later on in order for it to actually stay relevant to players or whatever, which they could do because it's a live service basically at this point. But design pillars, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I think it's overhyped, really. Forgotten to set that thing there. And while they were working on D3, we got other games out there like Grim Dawn, which is and Path of Exile, actually, more importantly, I guess. I'm more like the Grim Dawn kind of person, but I'm also biased because I like Titan Quest so much. But basically, Grim Dawn is a better Diablo 2 3 than Diablo 3. If you wanted to have like a grim universe with like class building and leveling systems and all that good stuff. And then it even also implements a lot of the stuff that came into Diablo 3, like gear defining builds, except Grim Dawn has so much more, like the fact that you have a skill tree that you actually, you know, have to fill out yourself. And you can do multi-class specking, which is something that's very unique to both Titan Quest and Grim Dawn. Never heard of that game? Really? No, Grim Dawn. So, Grim Dawn, that one. It's made by a smaller indie game development company called Crate Entertainment. And if I understood it correctly, some of the people working on Grim Dawn who worked on Titan Quest are like ex-Diablo 2 developers. I could be wrong on that one, but that's just something I seem to recall reading at some point. So I highly recommend it. The only problem with both Titan Quest and Grim Dawn is that you need, if you want to play it cooperatively with friends, you do need to have the same DLCs installed. Otherwise, there's a content mismatch. Yeah, links are not allowed in chat. I should actually consider making that like a thing that doesn't just automatically get blocked. But let me just share here just so that I'm clarifying. So Grim Dawn, this one. So this is Grim Dawn. It's got a lot of cool stuff going for it. It's set in like a Lovecraftian universe, so eldritch beings, demons, that kind of stuff. A lot of occultish magic going on. And something that's really unique about both Titan Quest and Grim Dawn is multi-classing. So that means you can combine two classes together to make a sort of third class. Which, how many are there in the base game? Is it 6 classes? Means that you can make a lot of combinations. Here it is. So that's the Nightblade, right? And then you at level 8, I think, can select the second class. So that way you can do some really interesting builds without going into too much detail. There's like a passive skill system, this whole star system, which is similar to Path of Exile's passive system. You've got all the things that you'd want from an ARPG these days. You've got transmogifying stuff. You've got secrets you can go on unlock. Repeatable dungeons, and the just baseline storyline is pretty good. Endgame is pretty good. You've got multiple difficulties. What else? Another thing that's really cool is that if you want to just have a lot of options, like you can get a DRM free version on GOG as well with all the DLC. Like I've bought the game twice because the GOG version is DRM free, and you can play this over LAN, you can play it over online multiplayer. The only requirement there is that if you have the GOG version, you can only play online multiplayer if you are the one like signing in through GOG Galaxy. And on Steam, of course, if you're online on Steam, because they use their frameworks to hook it up. But you can do online multiplayer through LAN and Hamachi and all that stuff. And you can take your single player character and go straight into multiplayer with them. So you can play single player and multiplayer interchangeably without having to have 2 separate rosters worth of characters, which is really nice. Titan Quest did it the same way. So I can highly recommend if you're into ARPGs. You don't have friends, so you're fine. Alright. But yeah. So if you should get all the DLC if you get it, well, so just for... Actually, I have a recommendation for what you could do if you're just curious. So Titan Quest Anniversary Edition, because Titan Quest was abandoned like many years ago. The original devs stopped developing on it. When was it actually released? Can you even know? I don't think you can buy it anymore. So basically they released Titan Quest back in the day, and then they released Immortal Throne as an expansion. Then the company Iron Law kind of just died. And it was published by THQ back in the day, which also ended up dying. And then THQ got purchased and is now called THQ, got like a branch called THQ Nordic. And as such, these new people acquired the IP rights for Titan Quest. And they basically took a ye old game, did a bunch of bug fixing, quality of life edition, and all kinds of other stuff, and re-released it as Anniversary Edition for everyone to purchase. I actually thought this was free. Okay, so that was just a limited thing? Huh. That's kind of weird. I thought this was... the base game was free. Oh, never mind then. They had like a thing going recently where you could play it for free along with another game, but I thought... Huh. I thought you could play it for free, but I guess that's no longer the case, because it said it was free. Yeah, oh well. But basically that got taken up and has even gotten a revival in terms of 2 new expansions. But in terms of DLC for Grim Dawn, then I guess... let's see, because there is some stuff that I would argue is optional.
Man, what a bunch of jokers.
Yeah, I guess so, Toto. They only temp things, if that was it. Okay, yeah, I thought they were like okay, so it was just, yeah, it was like they were doing a lot of promotion for a lot of THQ things, and then there were 2 titles that were like free to play, but I guess that was just like a free weekend or something, sadly. So for Grim Dawn, okay, so let's just go through the DLC because they do a little bit of different things because it's got a lot of DLC. Crucible is like almost a secondary game mode, if you will. It's like it's a map where there's multiple different maps, but it's the same concept where it's just a fight arena where you get loot, XP, and everything else that you normally would by fighting gradually increasing in difficulty enemies, groups of enemies, waves and stuff. And you can actually take a character from lowest level to max and end game through Crucible all in its own, but it's its complete own thing. You don't really need it if you're never intending on playing it. So that's one thing that's optional. There's Grim Dawn, of course. Then there's Ashes of Malmuth, which is the first DLC that was added, or expansion I should probably say. And then there was Forgotten Gods, which was the last expansion. And then beyond that, you've got the Loyalist items pack, which is not required. And then there's the... what's the difference between these two? Oh, this is pack 2. So the Loyalist packs are not really required. Then there's the soundtrack. But they do have the Definitive Edition bundle, which I can't see what it costs, but maybe that one. Alternatively, you can also get it on GOG. So let's see here. I could play it on stream sometime if people are curious about it. And Grim Dawn, the reason why I keep mentioning Titan Quest as well is this game is built on the Titan Quest engine. So people from the Titan Quest team went on to found Create Entertainment, which then they took the old Titan Quest engine, refurbished it, and advanced its technology to a lot of stuff to allow them to make Grim Dawn. But I don't know, is there's Loyalty, there's the Definitive Edition, that's in Danish crown, so $63. That is a lot though, but you're also getting a lot of content. Because Ashes of Malmuth adds the Necromancer class. If you want to play a Necromancer, you unfortunately need that one. And the other one adds, like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's also a pretty cool class. And then beyond that, every time you get one of the expansions, it adds to the base game some new functionality, I believe, as well. And just generally quality of life improvements that you don't get if you only have the base game, unfortunately. Yeah, like they even say like key feature dual class. Yeah, a lot of item skills. And there's a lot of unique items in this game too. It's not as cool as with Titan Quest, but that's for optimization reasons. So in Titan Quest, every single enemy that you encountered, you could see exactly which items you would get from killing them because they would be equipped with them. Meaning that if you saw a skeleton with a glowing sword, most likely it would be a rare weapon that would drop when you killed them. That did also mean that there was a lot of grays, as they have it there, which is literally just trash items that just drop as clutter because enemies needed items to be equipped with in order to utilize. utilize them for attacks and whatnot. But it did add like a lot of immersion in terms of the ARPG aspect, even if it does, you know, produce a lot of lag generating clutter over time, especially with mods, but that's a completely different story. I personally didn't ever have any major issues with it. Oh yeah, there's also factions in Grim Dawn that you build relations with, taking out different types of enemies, and the faction relationship carries over between difficulties, so as to make it easier to acquire later on. Devotion, that's the whole star sign system thing, which is a very interesting mechanic. And we're in like a bit of a not really post-apocalyptic world, but the world has gone to shit. And of course, 4-person multiplayer. Yeah, and there's a lot of secrets in the game too for you to discover. So there's like the maps always kind of the same. There's a little bit of places here and there where they have some dynamic terrain objects that they distribute, well, randomly, and that changes the paths that you need to take sometimes, but the general world is always the same. So once you've played through it a couple times, you know your way around, and most importantly, when you find a secret, you know exactly where you can get that for the next playthrough, which can help you out, because that, you know, that's more loot. Yeah, they've got roguelike dungeons, so basically you go further and further down, and then eventually you get to a boss, and then you have to decide if you like want to continue after each threshold, with the prospect of getting better rewards if you can continue further down, or go back, basically. Yeah, and they've also got recipe crafting, which actually matters in this game. And then, yeah, you can respec your character all the way down to actually everything. You can respec everything in your character except which classes you pick. So you get to
16 times the detail.
Yeah, 16 times the detail. There's a lot, put a lot of thought and care into this game. Highly recommend. What's the current reviews like? Yeah, very highly rated. But and I have how many hours in this game? 235. 235. So yeah, it's currently speaking my favorite ARPG, and then followed by Titan Quest, and then I believe I would probably put Torchlight 2 after that. Torchlight 2 is a really good ARPG, and then there's a lot of other ARPGs out there that I've played that I'm like meh, including D2 at this stage, because it's just like, I like D2 for the game mechanics, but I don't know, it's just too dark for me. How I made the mech red? Yeah, that's apparently a new feature in here on in the C menu. These colors down on the right, that changes the colors of your mech. Yeah, Torchlight 2 is really good. You can become very, very overpowered though. But Torchlight also has the benefit of mods, which is really neat. Yeah, that is new. I think it's like only a month or two old, someone told me. In Torchlight 2, I made an borderline invincible engineer. It's so stupid, the energy shield the engineer can make. Because if it's fully upgraded, even without being boosted by other things, you can be... It's just a lot of hit points that need to be removed. Sadly though, if I understood everything correctly, Torchlight 3 was kind of a doozy. It goes over there. Which sucks, because the Torchlight franchise is pretty cool. Long-range cannon engineer. Okay, yeah, I was a two-handed sword-wielding engineer. I still have my character too. Because I got him up to max level and I was like, now what? and then I started looking into mods, but I never really played much beyond that because I basically duplicated my character so that I can continue playing in modded playthrough, and then installed a mod that would allow you to go to level 300, I think it was, basically like a leveling mod or whatever. There's a couple out there, just to see what that would be like. The only thing I didn't like about Torchlight 2, really, it's like a major thing, I guess, was the fact that you needed to be on the same progression or whatever in order to play with your friends. So that kind of ruined a couple things when I was trying to play with my friends. And I was not happy about it, but you know, it is what it is. Let's just add all these drones in here. So all the ones that are coming in with iron ore, they get like a color change, and then they just have the texture for the ore on top, which is kind of, it's a neat way of doing it, because these have to be like fairly low poly and low detail. So because there's like 50 for each of these stations, so now we have like this conga line here, much more like it. So now hopefully we can actually sustain the demand. Speaking of demand, let's go and take a look and see how the other places are doing. My guess is that silica is going to be one of the main issues. Yeah, that's like like nowhere near enough silica. So let's just add the remaining logistics vessels for this. See ya! I do like how you can see all that stuff happening too. So fucking cool. What other ARPGs have I played? Of course, Torchlight 1, that goes without saying, but see, I'm lucky and don't have that problem. What problem, Cellfire? It's neat watching the ship fly around once you get more in the solar system. Oh yeah. It's also cool when you see them warp in between the solar systems, generally speaking. Quests out of sync. Oh, it's not because the quests are out of sync. It's like whenever you played Torchlight 2 and you get to well, of course you won't have this problem either, but it's not the quests per se, it's like literally a game stage. So Torchlight 2 has a difficulty ramping system, just like any other most other ARPGs like Diablo 2, Titan Quest, Torchlight, Grim Dawn, etc. But the thing about the one for Torchlight 2 is that you can't go back on your difficulty. You basically go into New Game Plus mode instead. And you can only play with other players that are at the same New Game Plus stage as you are. Meaning that if you've beaten the game twice, you're in New Game Plus Plus. So you can't play with New Game Plus or just people that are on the first playthrough, and you can't play with people that are on New Game Plus Plus Plus. And I don't know how high up the system goes, but basically, if you beat the final boss in your solo situation, you can't even go back to your friends and help them take out the boss because you already progressed to the next stage. You have to choose when you want to do this, of course, so you know you have options to wait out with it. Uh-oh, 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 fuck. I was just about to say, this is looking okay, but nope. No, 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 no. This is the first map too. Every fucking time. What? Why is there like a billion units all of a sudden? We literally just failed for the second time in a row. What the hell is this bullshit? What the fuck, game? Stream Raiders. God damn it. I honestly don't even know what's going on with this. This is so fucking dumb. It's like twice as many units, if not more, this time around. What was that other game called? The other ARPG? It came out, was it last year or was it this year? Time flies by, but it used to be called Umbra. Oh, you gotta go, Selfire. Oh. A shame, but I will see you later. Hopefully another time. I hope you had a great time here. Do consider checking out Grim Dawn as well if you're into that. Should be a good one. It bedtime, alright. Well, see you later on another day then. What was it called? It was called Umbra and then it was renamed to something else. Ah, crap. What was it called again? Now I'm trying to think here. Which is obviously a dangerous thing to be doing. Umbra. Now I remember, it was called Vulcan Lords of Mayhem. It was like, that's why I couldn't remember, because it was like such a weird title. Yeah, Vulcan Lords of Mayhem. I last played this 24th of February 2020. It's another interesting one. Might as well take a look because I'm waiting just in Dyson Sphere for this whole drone situation to take off, which just requires silicon. Could go and collect it manually, but I'm not feeling like it. So this is another ARPG. They got an expansion that I don't have, but go and check on the store page here. So if I remember correctly, this is made in the CryEngine of all things. Oh, is that for the new expansion pack? I think it is. But the assets for the game look pretty neat. You know, very high detailed stuff because CryEngine, I suppose. It also means they have a lot of tricks that they've put into good use. One of the major things that sort of sets this ARPG apart is that they wanted to do like a more dynamic generation of enemies for immersion's sake or whatever. Meaning that instead of enemies just always standing around, sometimes they come like crawling out from the woodwork and all that stuff. Yeah, CryEngine. So they like spawn in more like dynamic. Whoa.
Has always been stubborn in your own way. Stubborn to have it.
But yeah.
Stubborn to never give up.
This was a thing. I played it into endgame and then I never played it again.
Now while you still have each other.
Had an okay story.
You stand accused of desertion,
Okay combat system. But I can hardly even remember what the game was like because it just went by so fast. Universe was pretty cool. Enemy design, all that, pretty cool. Very nice visual effects. It played a little bit like Diablo 3, I guess. But you also had a lot of mobility, I seem to recall, with like your character.
Remember what we fight for. As long as one of us remains, hope is with us.
I don't remember how long it was though. I do seem to recall it was rather short. But I also seem to remember that they had multiple difficulties that you played through. Endgame was very boring though. It's like just grindy grind stuff.
Give up.
Oh yeah, and you had those freaking ultimate forms, that's right. It's like whenever you were in dire need, you could go like freaking Super Saiyan on their asses and just completely demolish everything around you. Not a particularly hard ARPG either.
Come back in one piece. Understood?
Why didn't you leave when I told you?
I do also seem to recall that the environments for the dungeons were rather repetitive, especially in endgame, because there's only so many tile sets they were using, and they weren't really mixing the places together. It was always like, this tile set is used for this dungeon, this tile set is used for this dungeon layout. They did have random generation of dungeons though, so that was something. Let's see, like 43 hours, including endgame stuff. And then I also played, what was it called? That was an older ARPG. Sacred, the first one. Didn't end up playing it much though, because by the time I got to play it, I was already like, so in, like, I think, was Grim Dawn a thing, or was it just Titan Quest? I think it was just Titan Quest that grabbed all my attention instead. Okay, I know what we want to do now. So yeah. Hopefully that can be of some inspiration or interest to some of y'all. And if not, then too bad. Because can't take it back. But yeah, I think we need to upgrade this silicon refinery setup. Because the main reason it's not larger than this is because the throughput from the other smelters that convert stone into silicon ore was like so fucking trash. Okay, maybe that's a bit okay. We need some more cargo vessels flying for this stuff. Okay, Control C. So if we take from there and to there, press Control V. Okay, let's do something really cheeky here, because I learned a new trick. I figured out how to make the blueprints tile now. Because you can press plus and minus to space them apart more or less. So if I just press minus, then it puts them closer together, and then it automatically tiles. So 1, or rather 6, 12, but I'm just going to count it as like 1, 2, 4, 6. Very, very convenient. So now the blueprint system actually can do exactly what I want it to. Which is always nice. So I don't have any reason to complain about not being able to tile things or copy things over well enough. Yes. This is going to take a while for the drones to build, I feel. They're not quite up to the task yet in terms of all the copy and pasting I'll be doing in the near future, so we'll eventually have to upgrade these a little bit at least. For the time being though, I think we're okay. So next up is cargo capacity for the vessels, yeah. But I don't think we're doing any research because I need another station for that, right? Where is it? Over here. No, that was the red research. So that makes it over here. Okay, so these are standing still because titanium is not being fed in and we don't have a station. So that's something else I need to do. But of course the station is worthless without logistics vessels, so not entirely sure how we're gonna go about doing that. We are also slowly running out of time on the stream, sadly. An epic Orc Slayer. Oh, we also did get an epic Blood Dragon's Archer. Okay. Then we should definitely be able to do it this time. Okay, so this is like way overkill, probably. I mean, we're not really using this to full effect yet, but it's here now. Let's go and take a look and see if we have enough to build another logistics vessel station. Okay, we do have enough for 4 of these. Nice. We have no interstellar vessels made though. Oh, that's because they need titanium alloys. Alright. Okay, let's restrict this a little bit until we can make more. Because these are very, very resource hungry. And it's the... I see what's going on. So all the titanium alloy we're making is not being... That's a problem. Okay, I think I want to make a little bit of an intervention here then. And the best way we can probably do that is by just splitting the heck out of it. So if we do like this, feed you into there and out of there, and then we take the upper one here and just run it on top of it. Because then when we get to this point, we can just lower it back down. In effect, having the exact same setup that we did before, but now it's being distributed between making the stations and the ships. And we're producing engines first, which doesn't really matter, but of course we can't make any interstellar vessels regardless in terms of titanium alloy without the engines. So we're making sure that we're making the engines as a higher priority. Not really like it matters much in the long scope of things, but it makes sure that we're not filling this one up with titanium alloy and then engines. So that once we get the engine alloy for the other one, it's immediately crafted or whatever. Small stuff, to be quite honest. Oh, wait. Oh, what? Oh, I just minimized the game in a weird way by accident. I know what's going on here. I never said this thing. Well, maybe if I did this, we would actually be getting some freaking vessels now, wouldn't we? God damn it. Okay, can we copy and paste some of this? Free, okay. I like to do things in multiples of free. Actually... There. And to a certain extent, multiples of 6. But yeah, this is like so fucking convenient. Like, before you had to manually place all of these one by one. You could copy them over so that they copied their settings, but you had to manually put them down one at a time still, because you couldn't do a drag selection. Oh, and most importantly, when you copied them over, these sorters would not be copied over. So after you'd copied those over, you'd have to put down the belts, and then you'd have to go to each and every one and drag these back and forth. That took a lot of time. Just a tidbit. That was one of the main reasons why I needed a break from the game when I played it the first time around, because it was ending up like taking a lot of time just to do very rudimentary fake factory setups. Because even though you built them so that they could be scaled in the length, you still had to manually build the whole thing almost. And because it took so long time, like by the end of you building one factory, yeah, you'd had enough. But this is much better. I'm happy they managed to implement that relatively soonish, because pretty much as soon as I stopped playing, you could upgrade conveyor belts. That was another one. If you wanted to upgrade the speed of your factories, you had to literally tear it all down and then replace it with something else, which, as you can imagine, for conveyor belts was just such a mess. So whenever I get around to showing my old save or whatever, just know that everything in that save was built without any of these quality of life things in place. Okay, so sulfuric acid not being produced. Why is that? What are we short on? It's up here. Yeah, they're not producing anything. Okay, we need refined oil. I know why. I know exactly why. Okay, what's our power demand like right now? Okay, we have barely any power demand. Interesting. Okay. So this is our problem. All of this is full. Let's see if we can do something about this. Yeah, let's do it this way. Okay, so we want to prioritize these deuterium storages, but we want to be able to take the overflow somewhere else. I think I know just where. Literally right next to it. I know we have like another generator facility right over there, but oh, don't have any. We just want to be using that in the thermal power plant. I'm pretty sure you can use them there, even though it's... I keep hitting escape too many times. Oh man, we're getting a lot of logistics vessels now. Huh, look at that. Almost like we got the materials for it now. Or something. But yeah. Let me just keep doing it. Let me just make sure that we can actually do this though. Crap. Yeah, so you can put deuterium in these and produce power out of it. So that is exactly what we will be doing. Yeah, let's just build two right next to each other like this. Or do I? Okay, actually maybe we do want to have two separate lanes. So how much can we store in one of these? 100, but it's like not really burning that quickly. I wonder if it's because of the demand being low. If we had accumulators, we could charge them with this, I'm pretty sure, but we do not. So the question is, should I dual lane this? Because I could. Question is if it's gonna be a good idea though. Of course, I deposited a lot of these structure elements on another planet in order to oh wait, that wasn't this planet somewhere. I forgot. It's right down here, isn't it? Yes, this stuff. Let me just quickly fill up my inventory with a bunch of junk. Yeah, it takes quite a while for this to burn through like one deuterium. But that's the question though, is that because... what does it say? Fuel chamber generation 100%, energy 9 megajoules. Does it mean you can produce up to 9 megawatt? And then it's just because there's low demand right now, so they're like... Yeah, power load 20%. Does that surmount to... Guess it would. It would get... Yeah, so at full capacity, full speed, it would be producing 9. Okay. 9 megawatts instead. As far as I understand. So with that in mind, let's actually set it up like this instead. And these generators have the benefit that they have like a small area of effect in which they actually also provide power. It's like an electrical grid power in terms of Tesla towers. So you don't actually need to put down Tesla towers to power the sorters that are feeding the generators, which is a very cool little thing to be aware of. Okay, so how do I do this? I think we're gonna do it like this. No. So the thing I'm thinking of is that, well, I guess it wouldn't really matter, because these two different lanes of deuterium are not connected in any way whatsoever. So if one lane gets overused and the other one barely gets used at all, then one of the setups is going to get clogged eventually. So the question is if I should split it out between the two evenly, or if I should just feed them in either of their like buffer here respectively. I'm thinking that I might just feed it in directly, just for simplicity's sake, because otherwise I would need to split each lane up first and then put them into another splitter to merge the two different lanes into the combined output, which would basically mean that something like this. And then how would I do that? Because that's what's annoying about it. Something like Okay, so if I do this, I'm just visualizing it in my head how it's gonna look. So this might be a little bit weird. Oh, right. That is the thing that annoys me. Because this thing has to feed over there, and then the one down here has to feed over in the other one. Effectively like this. So that. Then we take the other one around. So it's not a pretty splitting setup, but I can't quite imagine how else I would put it. Because I can't just split it off from here into the left-hand most one, because then it's going to take the input from like the other belt over into the left one twice as well, depending on how you set it up, I suppose. But this should be fine, because now I can draw out a line from this buffer and from this buffer. Since, like I explained the other day, these don't just work like storage containers, but also like as splitters, except you can't determine priority for the splitters. That's like the only thing. So like for these, you can set the nodes on which one to prioritize. So what we could do here, for instance, is that we prioritize the main line first, but then do accept resources from the second one. So that if for some reason we somehow manage to completely fill this up in terms of production, like running production, then we'll be okay. I was just about to ask, but I forgot. This is like so freaking long. Like this entire setup is so freaking long, and still we're getting hydrogen back in return, so it's still not even converting all of it to deuterium. But as you can see in the end here, we are getting a lot of deuterium, but it has a lot of random breaks in it, and that is because it's chance related. 1% chance to get deuterium, 99% for it to continue on as hydrogen. I don't know. Does that percentage raise through continued use? 771 divided by 76,000. Oh, so for each time we... Okay, I see how this is. So the first number is the deuterium that's been processed by this particular building. And the second number is how much hydrogen passes through it. And then that results in a percentage close to, but never quite 1%. And that's like a mechanic so that if you're really unlucky or whatever, over a longer period of time, it balances itself out, I guess. Since it's a division, right? So that the chance basically increases over time. And that's Stream Raiders. 11 units. Alright. Let's see if we can freaking make it this time, even though there's like a ton of units this for some reason, and I don't understand why. Why is there so many units? Yeah, there's like 73 units. Like, why? Just why? This is so unfair. Well, you can at least get a lot of kills rather easily. Don't die, Toto. Don't die. Yeah, it's always so misleading. Fucking levels and shit. Like, oh, here's like 1 billion units, they're all level 5, but then you get free epic units and they can like pretty much take care of everything. Do I want to do one more? Here's some scrolls for you, Toto. But yeah, that was the first map done. Oh man, that's gonna be... it's gonna take a while. Sorry about that. Let me just think a moment. Because I'm actually getting really hungry. And we've been streaming for how long? 2 hours and 45 minutes? Okay, probably no more Stream Raiders for today. Or not probably, no more Stream Raiders for today. And in terms of Dyson Sphere Program... nah. We can continue this on another day. That's like the unfortunate thing of me getting home at the time that I do. Because it's like either I stream for like 2-3 hours or whatever up till my dinner time, and actually this is like past dinner time if I didn't have to make food, so yeah, I think I'll just call it here, Toto. You're definitely getting it. I should just be more consistent when I'm stopping and streaming and not streaming, but this whole like only streaming for
2 hours to die like this?
No, we're not dying, but god damn it. But it's more like the it's just the whole getting home and then streaming before dinner or streaming after dinner. Not like, both situations are not optimal, because I do want to do longer streams, but this is not, it's just not plausible. It's just not plausible. I don't see anyone I want to raid today, so we will just call it here. And I only just realized I clicked the wrong thing. I clicked the stream goodbye instead of stream ending. My bad. Oh well. We'll just do a quiet thing. So I've got like some different layouts for all that, how that works, and I guess I clicked the wrong thing. Oh well, not to build up hype or anything. But yeah, let's just call it here for today, and I'll say thanks for now, and I'll see you all on the next one.